Welcome back to another episode of Get 'Em Together Garage. Today, we're doing some maintenancing, replacing rad support, or not rad support, radiator. So, I bought a cheapo aftermarket radiator on that there Jungle Amazon, that place. And it was good. It's good for what it is for 2 years, $220. Didn't think nothing of it. Didn't really read your reviews or nothing, but then 2 years down the road, looky there. And I checked the antifreeze the other day because I had no heat. Yeah, I had no antifreeze. Don't know where it went. I know it's leaking through the tubes. So number one problem. Make sure you read them reviews. That's important. So yeah, but I mean, it just never overheated the engine. At least still had a little bit to cool down. Perfectly still somehow. So yeah. Doing some research, did a pressure test, did a vacuum test, both failed, believe it or not. Yes, yep, that's right. So now we're going to go and replace this with a more known brand from Summit, Frostbite. I'll show you. So yeah, we're going to do what we shouldn't do and get this thing really hot because I had to drive it here. So yeah, we're going to do what you shouldn't do and open that up and just watch it explode. If there's anything in it. I haven't checked in a few days. So yeah, we're gonna get that off, get the fan shroud off, get all that fun stuff off, make sure everything's good. And then we're gonna get this baddie out, pitch it, garbage. And I'm gonna show you the other fun stuff we got. So what I need, something over here actually, it's in the trash. Yep, that works. Need that because, it's just something you need when you have a lifted truck because my legs aren't exactly the longest in any manner. So, yeah, I'm going to be sitting up there as my new bench and get this thing apart. I mean, it's no fun to go. Yay! Didn't explode. It's going to be a good day is what that means. Alright, let's go get you guys seeing all of the stuff I got. But, before I show you it, don't forget to subscribe. It's important. Make sure you do it, especially you sitting back here. Yeah, you're looking at me now. Right here. Let's go see what the stuff we got. Let's go. Okay, so I got a few things here. One of a few and a few and of a few. I got this here, a brand called Frostbite. And it's actually I never heard of the brand. I never used the actual name brand radiator like this before, but I mean, I open this up and I tell you what, it's actually probably one of the nicer radiators I've seen in person. It's a nice brand. I mean, Frostbite, where this truck's gonna be ice cooled is what that means. I mean, I was running ice cooled with a third of a radiator. I mean, it's working. So this better run cooler. That was a 4-core, by the way. This is a 3. It should still do just as fine. I'll explain why I'm switching to an aluminum here in a second. But what else we're going to need is this equals 2 gallons of antifreeze for you guys, in case some people don't know how to do mechanic math. So what this means is she's concentrated, and you got to dilute it, and that's when you have to add water to it. So it means that you need a mix it 50-50, which we'll throw a gallon of this in. I don't got my vacuum thing to fully do the antifreeze system today, but we're going to pour this in and then pour a gallon of water in, and then we can mix 50-50 from the extra bottle that we have here, so that way it's good. Because you can also buy these ones, which I accidentally bought this one, but this will be a backup. I'll keep it in the reservoir. Yeah, I didn't know that I bought this. It looked similar at first, and then that's the only difference. But we'll keep it as a backup. We're going to use concentrated first. I like using concentrated first. It's usually better. So that's that. Let's go get this thing opened up and show you guys what we got, and then start tearing the other thing. Alright, let me get one thing right before we start moving on. You guys are probably saying, why in the heck am I putting this shiny piece of equipment in the truck? Well, I know it's too nice for the truck, honestly. I even said that when I got it. I was like, holy crap, this thing's way too nice to put in here. But it's going to save me in the long run, because The thing I'm looking for in a radiator, because I've had this experience with aftermarket ones from AutoZone, Advance, and all them. It's the openings right here. You see this? The ridge on there? On plastic ones, it's hardly even on there. So once your hoses get warmed up enough and plastic starts getting like soft and like malleable whenever it's warmed up, whenever the truck's 200 degrees, I mean, what do you expect? It's plastic. It's going to start warping, doing what it's got to do. Metal, or aluminum at least in this case, it's going to stay hard, and I won't have to worry about my hose popping off. I had that happen one time in the winter. It was not fun. It was the coldest day of the year, obviously, because that's my kind of luck. And so then after that, I think I bought the aluminum radiator. Starts of that spring, I think, like April or March, one of the two, close to like this time of year now, is when I actually put that other radiator in that's in the truck right now. And the other thing that made this way too nice to put in the truck, look at this. I mean, that's freaking sweet. It gets pressed right over top of that somehow. Not quite sure how, but it does. But this is freaking billet aluminum. It has a nice little polar bear on it. Like I said, this thing's just way too nice, but I'd rather have the quality over cheap and less chance of breaking down. And I'm hoping that the cores, which the other one was leaking right on the edge of these cores going into the tanks. So that was the biggest downfall, and unfortunately I had to take it all apart and put it back together to figure this stuff out. So that's what we're going to find out. What we got to do next is I have plugs that I believe will go in here, and hopefully they're the same pitch. We'll see. I don't remember what exactly went into the ones that are in the truck now, but I'll Teflon these. I have Teflon tape here, make sure nothing leaks, because I think this is just for like power steering or something like that, or this is for like a heavy duty. We'll end up possibly Tefloning this down here just to make sure everything's good except for the actual petcock, because that just seals on rubber. Same with the power or transmission lines. I'm actually not even going to need these fittings because my lines are made to fit right in the here where they are already. So I'll take those off. Won't need to Teflon these. But I mean, for this, it's actually a really nice radiator. It's probably it's honestly the best radiator I've ever actually bought myself. And I'm usually cheap when it comes to doing this, like, you know, buy it on Amazon, stuff like that. But that kind of proved me wrong. I mean, it wasn't really that much more than the Amazon, so that's why that's why I went with this, because I can call someone if I have any technical support. It'd be easier to deal with Summit Racing because I ordered that through them. If they want to sponsor me, they can sure as heck be my guest. Be nice for a little help maybe. But yeah, then look, it's got other like press fit. Like these are nice. It comes with like the heavy duty press fittings for like pressure lines, high pressure lines. But yeah. All right, enough about this one. Let's go see what we got in the truck and get that all apart. Show you what we got. Okay. So there is, I'm not quite sure how much is in there. It's just about a full tank that's in there. You can kind of see. You can see it shining up in there, right there. So it's still full. It's not leaking as badly right this minute because I haven't been driving it much. I've been trying not to. But we got to disconnect the upper rad hose. We got to disconnect the overflow bottle right here. And then we got to disconnect the heater core, which I replaced the heater core in this when I pulled this out because I had no heat and I was trying to figure it out. And the hose broke on me, so I ended up replacing all that. So if you're doing a rad, I'd recommend at least doing that, because look at this. Just after 2 years, it does start getting like gunk buildup in there, and it's just because it's literally boiling the antifreeze for your vehicle to run. So I would recommend at least doing that if yours is easy to do. This wasn't too bad. It took me probably about 15-20 minutes to do the heater core in this. Now the truck gets heat before it even warms up, so it's nice now. If you guys have any heating problems, that's probably your problem. And then we're going to disconnect the transmission lines right there, and then we're going to disconnect the lower rad hose, upper rad hose, take the fan shroud off, and this thing should be ready to pop out. So let me go get this thing set up and we'll pop this thing out. Alright, we got the radiator out, and what I'm doing is actually, let me see something. In case you guys are wondering what the difference is between a 3-core and a 4-core, it doesn't look like it's very, very much. So tank width is roughly about 2.5. Tank width on you. Tanks are slightly different sizes, but the main tubing is 2.5. It's within a 1/4 inch. So I mean, you're not losing a whole lot going with from a 4-core. I mean, this cooled absolutely perfect. I loved how well it cooled the truck. It actually cooled it a little too much, but I didn't have to worry about the truck overheating ever, because it was constantly cold, warm, cold, warm, cold, warm. Then eventually kind of mellowed out. So this should probably do about the same. The only difference is I believe the core tubes are a little bit wider in this than this, because there's more in there, so they're slightly smaller. So I gotta go and get my plugs out, see if they're similar to this. Yes. Okay. These might be slightly different. It's quite interesting. I don't know. I think that is I think this tubing I'm putting in is actually for a different, I think it's for like some kind of engine cooler. You want to put like engine oil through the thing, because there's no antifreeze anywhere. I believe it's just a separate cooler itself, from what I am noticing. Let me get this mess figured out and I'll get it right back to you. Good news is everything is partially in place. I believe those two fittings on the side, they're a different thread than the other radiator. So we're gonna hope that once this thing is installed, that you know, if I can get it installed, it would be nice. There's that. Okay, now I had to manipulate some stuff because I got stuff on here that a factory truck wouldn't, like a light bar. So that was kind of obstructing the view just a smidge. Throw my rad hose on, or my heater hose on, if it wants to go on. Crunch down in there, did you? There we go. That's the stuff right there. Okay. Slide you down. Ain't going nowhere. Okay. Leave that on because I need that for the other side. Put my 1/4 inch one on. Okay. Slide you on. Tighten you down. Coming off. Perfect. Alright, last bolts. Because we tightened the transmission lines, we tightened the lower rad hose. It's just the upper hose on this side now. And we should be cooking with the peanut oil. Oh, there we go. Beauty. Look at that. Dokily dokily. And I believe that should be about all we gotta do here. Now we just have to pretty much start the truck up. Well, after we put our first 2 gallons of coolant in it. So let me just pop you open. And we're gonna go grab our coolant, fill her up, and go forward. Okay. since I'm used to making messes, I'm gonna use you for now. Okay. Slide the phone over. I'm just gonna pour her in. I'm gonna put a little extra antifreeze in here just because I flushed out the engine with water to get all the old antifreeze out because I didn't want the two mixing as much. So I tried to minimize as much as I could. So I'm gonna have a little extra of the concentrate in than water because there's already a decent amount in there. So we'll see what we get. It's a mix of the heater core and everything else in between. So that's that. We'll fill this up with some water. Okay, dump you in. What we'll do is we'll start the truck up actually. And make sure you turn your heat and everything on that'll allow to or be able to use antifreeze, so that way you get a whole complete system. Alright, new plugs are in and wires, as you can tell right there. This is an unexpected upgrade. Needed done because I haven't done it in the last, I don't know, 7 years. So I figured it was due. And I got a story for you for cylinder number 2. Stick around to find out what that is. But now, we're going to go on ahead for ourselves a 51069 Wix filter in the truck. Make sure you mark the date. That way you know what when you last changed it. And I last changed mine about, I don't know, starts of fallish to the winter. So I'm going to throw some 10W40 in it. The good old Castrol GTX. Helps extend engine life. Superior sludge protection that I do not have. Yep. So we're going to throw this in there too. It only takes 5 quarts because it's a Chevy small block. They only take 5 quarts. And we're going to get this stuff thrown in. So I'm going to get this stuff changed out. I'll tell you my story, what happened with, this. And go from there. Alright, let's start it up and check for leaks. So far, sounds like it's running on all 8. And nothing's clicking. Got ourselves a little winner. Mine's pouring out, so that's a start. See the staying cool with the new Frostbite radiator. Nice. She's a champ. Alright, so back to my story from, cylinder number 2. So this is what a spark plug that was in it should look like, the typical, she's getting dirty from, sitting in there for 7 years, and as you can tell, she's not exactly weather tight. So, I was one easy out away from a 3 to 4 hour job. Luckily, I had something that can help me. And, yeah, that's not supposed to look like that. That was supposed to be a 30-minute tune-up job, turned into a good hour and a half of fighting to get this sucker out of the block. I mean, there's not too many ways that you can do that. Yeah. So, thankfully, Irwin has a good easy out kit, and I used that and a little bit of heat, and it came out. Just took some fighting. But, yeah, that's the story. Great. Fortunately, unfortunately, we broke down in the Chevy truck. Fortunately, it's in front of the house. And fortunately, I already bought a new distributor because that's the sign it's given. So, we're going to pull this out, swap everything around, and see that fixes it, because there's not really... This already happened once about 7 years ago, and I replaced it with a cheap Amazon one. So now I bought one from AutoZone, and hopefully it's a little better. But we'll see. We'll put it in, see if the thing starts over. Right now it's just cranking and won't fire off, so no spark. So I'm putting new plugs and wires in, so I know that's not the problem. And now we're just going to go to this distributor and go from there. Let me get this thing out. I'll get you guys in to see what's going on, figure out how we have to pull this thing out, and go from there. Got the old one out, got the new one next to it, making sure it's all the same. And so far it looks like it is. Same shaft length, same top seat. So I pulled it out with the rotor sitting that way, and I got that one sitting the same way, so that way it just drops in. But I was looking. Yeah, it's not in the best shape. There's just a good bit of corrosion on there. But it's expected because it's just junk. But everything's junk these days, so it doesn't really matter. So, it's a good thing I'm putting this in anyhow. As you can tell, it's got some sludge buildup and everything of that sort. But let's go get this thrown in. And hope it starts. Alright, distributor's in. Just kind of snug where it's at. I eyeballed it the best I can. I might have advanced it just the tiniest bit because I didn't check it last time. Can't really check it until I get a timing light on it. But let's go and see if it starts up. Right up. That's what my problem was. It's not even missing or nothing. I'll show you what I had. So if you look in there, see that corrosion? Yeah, it's on every single one of those prongs. That'll be the main reason why you don't get spark to your spark plugs. But then, this little guy here, not much better, but yeah, it was just about time to change it out. So, idling at about roughly about 1200. Stays right there with it. I did advance it just the tiniest bit whenever I put it in, but it's responsive. And when you shut it off, fires right up. So when I get back from my trip, I'll check it with the timing light, make sure everything's good. But everything is what I needed. Good enough for now. I can drive it as much as I want. It pretty much never goes above 180 degrees. So that's kind of how it was with the other radiator. So it's staying pretty cool in comparison. But it's doing way better than a stock radiator, because the radiator stock, I believe, stayed around like 210, roughly 200, 210. So far so good. Well, there we go. We got ourselves a truck back on the road, upgraded again. Definitely had a few fights, unfortunately. Unexpected but fortunate fights. And they were at very fortunate timings that it happened. So I'm very grateful for that. Everyone who knows that kind of problem have been through that before. Got my summer wheels back on. I got to re-clean them up again. I've been driving it for the last week, trying to see how it runs, and it's running a lot better now with a good distributor, new plugs, new wires, oil change, and all that fun jazz, and different tires again. So summer setup's good. Everything's went good. Honestly, everything's really simple to do on this if you guys have to do it yourself too. If you guys are doing the same situation, it just takes time and patience is all that is. And which I still haven't even timed the damn thing yet, and it's running better than it has before. So I mean, it's all by ear, dialed in. But that's all I got for you guys. Yeah. That's going to do it for us for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed doing the tune-up and the fortunate accidents that happen, but it happens because it's just parts getting old. That's all. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment. And guys, catch you on the next episode. Stay tuned. Thanks. Bye.